nose with circles. This is one way of going about it, and it can be really helpful just to figure out where some of the shadows go. So we start with 3 circles, one larger circle for the tip of the nose and 2 smaller ones for the nostrils. And the bridge of the nose connects to the sides of the nostrils and the sides of the tip of the nose. And then go in and round out the smaller circles and connect them to the larger circle so that you get those nostrils to look more continuous line, like not choppy, nice and smooth. And bring the line up to put some nostrils in there. That's where the darkest area of this drawing is going to be. There's no light gets there. Thankfully, right? So then, the one other thing that really makes the nose look dimensional and 3D is by putting a shadow on the underside, like the tip of your nose, just above the nostrils. So it's kind of just the line that you have for your nostrils and the tip of the nose, you just repeat that just above it and shade it in. And that's going to make it look like there's a shadow cast. Because your nose, when the light's hitting your nose, it gets, the bridge of your nose and the tip of your nose. But then when the underneath part, where your septum is, that's where there's going to be shadow. So that's a key thing to look for when you're drawing a nose. And then just adding some shading in. So the sides of the bridge of the nose and those circles are going to really help find where shading goes on the nostril, around the nostril and the tip of the nose. So, but there's shading along the sides. And again, I'm like doing some really light blending and trying to get a smooth line and just practicing, fading my shading from light to dark. And most of the time I'll be doing like a 3-step process. So I'll go through where the darkest shadows are, then I'll go back in and add the lighter areas, like the lighter shadows, just like where I'm gonna, everything else, I'm gonna avoid the highlights, but I'll shade everything else. And then I'll go back again and reinforce the darks and just make some of those shadows a little bit darker. Also eliminating the lines. So you can see like around the nostrils, if there's a line there, I'm gonna say, all right, to the right or the left of that line, should I shade? So you gotta shade out your outlines. Those outlines are there for a reason, because you're separating lights and darks. So it's like when you're drawing things, you don't realize that's what you're doing, but you're trying to put a line around things to show what you see. So most of the time, it's not going to actually be a line, especially, well, when you're doing things realistically. Anything, that you want it to look natural, there's a lot of blending out involved. So getting rid of your outlines. Sometimes there's a hard edge, sometimes there's a soft edge. So right now you can see there's hard edges like on the sides of the nostrils. But I'm gonna fade those out. And the hardest edge here is the nostrils, like the very underneath part near the septum. You can see those lines. Those are the hard edges, and everything else, I'm gonna try to soften. There's a hard edge to the side of the nostrils where the nostril meets the cheek. Trying to get a highlight in there. My eraser's dirty or something, so I just messed up my highlight, but get the idea. So, all right. So I hope this works for you. Give it a try. follow along if that helps, just so you can remember, where to put stuff, where to do shading and things like that. And then when you go to, work on your next nose, you can try using this method, the 3 circles. It works really well.